Roby will be driving by, everybody will be getting dunks. I mean, just how we're shooting on any given night is going to be such a huge key, especially when they can kind of. I guess let's go to the defensive end. What do we think there? I see maybe. I don't think we'll get dominated inside, actually.
I don't think so. I think we can play. I think we're fast enough and long enough to be able to play like switch a lot off like screens, on ball screens, switch a lot, and then like double up big guys if like Roby needs help. Like if they have a big center.
That's one thing. So in the NBA, there's been a huge shift all of a sudden with how teams are playing defense. You see all these teams. First of all, there's the freedom movement, but all these teams are changing their defensive schemes to switch a ton, and it all kind of started with the Golden State Warriors. They're all very versatile. They kind of play that small ball, and from what Dad said, Miles kind of runs that system too, where guys. So, for example, if you get a big guy switched on to Thomas Allen in the post, they're going to take any really small opportunity to switch back and get Roby back on that guy. And I think that's kind of how small ball defense now works, where you can, like you said, you're switching a ton of things, but then you're also switching back. And also in the post, I mean, so often some of the hardest things for the big post players, the great post players to do is to play against those smaller lineups where they can just go double and try to steal the ball. Mm-hmm. And most people think, oh, it's just the big guys that only the big guys can stop them. But if you really play good team defense, you should be able to stop those guys inside. Yeah. What do you think about 3-point shooting defense? Hasn't that been? I think we've been like particularly bad at that in
I don't know
other
why.
seasons.
Like I feel like switching would help. Switching defense should help with that. Just if you're going over the top at least. I don't really know how to. I think we were a little better last year. Do you see us as a good defensive team? Like in general?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should be, especially if we want to be able to. Like if we think we should be able to make it to the tournament, I feel like we have to be a above average defensive team.
Yeah,
I mean, we're long.
I think we should be
a tall center. Really, that's basically it.
I mean, the only guys who I would say shouldn't be like pretty good defenders are maybe like Thomas Allen. I mean, he even probably got stronger and better, but he's just a little smaller. And maybe Glenn, but even him, I mean...
Well, Glenn I think he averages most steals.
Yeah, and him, like, I mean, neither of those guys is as small as, like, Benny Parker, who I know everybody thought he was the greatest defender, but when Melo Trimble pulled up on him, he just pulled up in his face and shot directly over him, and hopefully they can't do that on somebody like Glenn. Yeah, so I guess that's our kind of predictions. We'll be back after the first game of the season. I'll finally get to see the guys. Oh, yeah. Did they play zone in the exhibition?
I don't remember ever seeing them play zone.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Because, I mean, we kind of shut teams down with that, and especially with no big guy at all.
I would be fine. We obviously didn't need to play zone, but definitely 1-3-1 was a big thing that helped us like later in the late season last year.
Yeah, I mean,
so I would like to see Miles go to that if necessary, like earlier on, and not be afraid to like go to that.
Yeah, it seemed like Miles went to that as little as possible last season. Yeah, it almost was like, oh, it's an emergency. Like we got to go to 1-3-1. That kind of sucks, but. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see him use it a little more. I don't think you, like, wear it out and teams will necessarily figure it out. But I think that's how we made a comeback in, like, Northwestern and all those games. So
I feel like it's something that you can use, like, coming out of a timeout or just after even like straight up for like one play after halftime, like that kind of thing. Just not even when you're down, but just try to extend a lead, get like a quick run, then switch back to man on man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Amir Harris
being able to switch up your defenses.
It'd be interesting to see Amir Harris. Like, I feel like he could be a good player at the bottom of that. Mm-hmm. You obviously have Roby in the middle, so you don't have your big guy down there. But like Amir is like big enough and long enough to like cover those guys in the post, but then also fast enough to like get to both ends of the court and cover that. So we'll have to watch that. We'll know a lot more after the first game of the season. So we'll get back to you guys then. Thank you guys so much for listening. See you tomorrow night at the game.